When did Star Trek get so political? What? The first episode today, it's all about. No, wait, it's definitely not a metaphor for the American healthcare system. It's clearly just fantastical sci fi. Nothing to do with real life. Don't. Star Trek is a non political show. They would never make commentary about real life. So, yeah, today's first episode, Critical Care. It's all about some backward alien race where the rich get all the healthcare they need. Well, more than they need, really. Just, plenty of preventative stuff, everything anyone could possibly want, while the poor suffer and die. But that doesn't relate to anything. The second episode is Inside Man, which I'm pretty sure is actually not a metaphor. I think that's just weird sci-fi. Inside Man's about Barclay, and he shows up on Voyager as a hologram, and it's a whole thing. It's a whole debacle. I remember most of that episode, I think, not all of it. I don't remember how it ends. I remember why he's there. I don't know. We'll see. And then what's the last episode? Body and Soul. Body and Soul is the episode where, what's her name? Jerry Ryan? 7 of 9. Where 7 of 9 is possessed by the Doctor, and it's a really good episode. It's just Jerry Ryan showing off how good of an actor she is, mostly. We already had one episode like that where, what was it called? The one where 7 has, the split personality thing, and she, pretends to be. She inhabits, a Ferengi for a bit. What was that episode? It was really good, though. It's basically just that, except it's the Doctor. Solid episode. All of today's episodes are really good, actually. Usually in Voyager, there's one that's kind of meh. This one, I think they're all really good. It's a 10 out of 10 day for episodes. Ah, yes, the cheesecake episode is this episode. Or rather, the Doctor learns about cheesecake because he's never tasted before. The Doctor I find very confusing. I don't understand the Doctor, because he seems to be programmed to feel a lot of stuff. He can, physically feel stuff, and he can touch stuff, and he has emotions. But then there's other seemingly random human bits he doesn't get, he doesn't experience taste. He can smell. Yeah, I think he has every sense except taste. Does he have that sense where he can tell if he's upside down? How does the Doctor work? Well, he works very well. That's all we need to know. That's all we need to know. I'm just getting the episodes queued up for myself, because usually I have them before I start, but I forgot. Need to make sure all the subtitles are for the right episodes, make sure everything's good. Yeah. Okay, looks like I'm ready to go now. So how's the weather? How's everyone's weather? It's been, warm here, which sucks. It's summer, I maintain, is the worst season. And winter's the best, purely on temperature reasons. Just, what kind of monster likes warm temperatures? People talk about, my ideal temperature is 72, maybe 68 for indoors. No, I'm like 56. 56 to 58. Perfect. I could go colder too. I'd rather go colder than 56 than higher. Oh, good. Rain. Yes. Rain is excellent. It's very important. For, crops or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't get people who like warm temperatures. I don't get it. You just get all sweaty. Anything else to talk about before we start? 40 seconds, so it's Season 7, Episode 5. Everyone cue up Critical Care. Season 7, Episode 5. We're really close to it. How many weeks of episodes do we have left? Let's see. 8 to 11. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 6? I might have miscounted. We have either 5 or 6 Voyager streams left. Really close. And then we have to do TOS, which I've previously expressed great concern about. I've also expressed that you should press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. That's a pretty good ship design. I like it. Nice and pointy. Oh, that's... So this is either an American megacity or Ferenginar. Well, it's not rain. Well, parts of it are raining. God, maybe I would love Ferenginar. No, I would not love Ferenginar. The weather of Ferenginar. The fact that it's a polluted, smoggy mess with toxic rain, probably not that part so much, but the fact that it's raining, lovely. Oh, two main characters, good. Oh, no, oh. That guy who was just walking alongside this alien man, he's a main character, but they didn't even introduce him. There, he's in the background. They're establishing him early. There he goes, walking off screen off the right. Wait, was that him? I think that was him. I don't remember his name. Shelik, though, I know. Shelik, I know as the, he's in Firefly. Also, I forgot to blur the screen. There we go, it's blurry now. Shelik, in Firefly, he has like a shipment of cows that he needs to smuggle off world. I don't know why cows are considered contraband in Firefly, but they are. He's pretty cool there. Enjoys a good stab. Oh. Yes, it's a doctor episode. It's all doctor all the time. Can I be louder? I mean, I could be, but my volume slider already is like near the maximum. On my little audio balancer, it says I'm really loud. Let me listen to myself. I sound fine to me. If I just played it back. Do I sound okay to other people? Do I need to be louder? I can be louder. I can boost to like 20 decibels. Boost myself a bit, see what happens, but this might be too loud for normal computer audio. I don't know. Boosted it 4 decibels. Oh, where's the tiny planet again? Have we seen... I think I missed the tiny planet. I was looking at my audio sliders. It's all... No, wait, here it is. It is tradition if you're watching Voyager, you must appreciate the ring system of this, like, 3-kilometer planet. It's still really pretty, though. It's a good ring system. Size notwithstanding. Okay, it's over. Back to the doctor. Yes. Wow, 5 million. That's... Well, I was trying to think of how much space the doctor has to have, like in hard drive terms. But I'm thinking you could probably store medical procedures as like a text file. It's probably pretty small, really. Well, the doctor doesn't need to be rude about it. It's not Dr. Chelik Cowman's fault. Also, as is tradition on Voyager, I need to look up this actor playing the alien dude, because he, as always, he sounds very familiar. I know at least 2 of the episodes, or 2 of the characters in this episode, Chelik and, oh, there's Dr. Well, not Doctor. Is he a doctor? That guy. Nurse Doctor Man. Um, but yeah, the guy on level blue, I recognize him as well. He's Greg George. His name starts with a G. He's in a few series. Of sorts, he's a very good doctor. What do you mean, of sorts? I'm trying to look up... Oh, is his name Gar? I think his name is Gar. Gar is played by John Kassir? Yes, okay. Is he in anything else? No, not on Star Trek. Anybody know him from somewhere else? I always wonder how people, like regular officers just doing their job walking the hallways, how they feel about people wandering around with these big holodeck uniforms. Like on DS9 with Julian and Miles just walking around in Viking outfits, singing. He does seem kind of Jeffrey Combsy. I mean, good advice. That should probably work. He's fine. I'm gonna bet it was Neelix's fault. No, Tuvok, get out of here. It wasn't your fault. Somehow it's Neelix's fault. I can feel it. Yeah, see, Neelix poisoned him. It's all Neelix's fault. Because I'm pretty sure this has happened before in episodes where someone turns out to be nefarious, and then somehow it was Neelix's fault. Like he brought them on the ship, or he gave them access to a system. He did something. Oh, like when the people that were impersonating Voyager, how he gave them all the information when they were pretending to be like monks. Frickin' Neelix. It's always Neelix. He might have kidnapped someone else. He might have kidnapped Harry, God forbid. I'm still looking through Gar's IMDb page to see if I recognize him from anything. It looks like he was in It's Pony and Disney Comics in Motion and Final Fantasy. Mickey Mouse, he's in a bunch of Disney's. Oh, Despicable Me 3. Rick and Morty. He's in Hearthstone, apparently. But no, no Star Trek. Though, so if this whole episode is a metaphor, a metaphor for the American medical system, I find it interesting that their problem here is more a shortage of materials, whereas the thing it's doing a metaphor for is more shortage of labor. Well, maybe there's a labor shortage here too. Tebis, that's who I was thinking of. Tebis. Ah, he's been reading the Space Web MD. And yes, replicators and droids solve, well, Star Trek doesn't really do droids. I'm trying to think of the droids in Star Trek. I know we have a couple. It's mostly holograms. We have exocomps are kind of droids. Data, of course, is a droid. And Guinan's a noid. I am unclear on in Star Trek why it's so hard for them to make droids, but holograms are apparently super easy.
Fair enough.
Oh Jesus, you scared me.
Sorry. Hey, happy Sunday.
Are you ill?
Yes, I have a cold.
Do you need? How's the American medical system treating you?
Um, my job wants me to get a sick note, but they know that I'm allowed to take 3 days off without a sick note. So I'm trying to stretch out the 3 days. because I don't want to pay $50
Yeah.
for urgent care or wait 3 hours for urgent care.
Ah, America.
Yeah, that's how it's treating me. But I need. But fortunately, my job doesn't really need a note. But if I do that like more than like 4 or 5 times, then I get written up. But since cities of COVID, though, they also know that they want you home rather than showing up sneezing.
Oh, level blue is lovely. In fact, it
Yeah.
looks suspiciously like other sets we've seen before.
So I'm on level blue, actually. That's how the American system is treating me.
You are? You're rich?
No, I'm just well in the sense that I don't actually have. Um, so, for example, if
People
I
in
go to the
level blue get preventative medicine
yeah,
proactively from doctors, trying to keep them
right,
healthy.
right, and while people on the other level don't get the necessary medicine, which they die from. So I'm not red or whatever that other level is.
Also, look, okay. So something that is going to lose me, not Star Trek credibility, but just like probably lower people's opinion of me in general. I saw a table in that room that was clearly the table that Riker was at that time he was being accused of murder. With the Dr. Abgar, yes. Oh, there's that Greg Eitzen in the background.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
It's sort of a, that table, actually it's very similar to my monitor setup. There's the
It's
straight, and then it
it,
goes diagonal on both sides.
it's when he's in a mental asylum and like he can't tell if he's on the Enterprise or.
No, that time he's fighting with some scientist on some space station, and his wife. So the station blows up. He beams off just in time, and an investigator comes in and accuses him of having murdered the doctor. And his wife
Mhm.
accuses him of trying to rape her as well. And then Troy says that she's telling the truth, and then they never pursue it, and it's a whole thing.
Wow.
There are questionable parts to that episode.
But we know the aliens are lying though, because obviously our heroes would never do that.
I, mm, I
But he didn't.
mean,
He didn't blow up the station that killed the doctor, though, right? He found a
no,
murder.
that
Okay.
part we establish was not true. It was, I mean, they had reasonable suspicion for why they
Okay.
thought he did, but no, it turned out he did not do it
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
because he's in, the rest of the series.
Plus aliens are liars, so
It's very xenophobic of you. In my
it's
Star Trek,
just it's the same thing. I mean, I was reminded of the Paris episode when he has to relive the murder over and over again, and
yeah.
like the barking dog, and um. But basically, whenever they accuse you of murdering the scientist and cheating on his wife, they're lying.
But I mean, they never address whether Riker assaulted the wife or not.
Yeah, they should have put in a
Troy
line.
says she's telling the truth, and then they never mention it again.
Yeah, they should have put
What
in a line.
happened?
They should have put a line how they're able to deceive um, Betazoids as well. Because you're right. Otherwise, like you said, they never followed up with the rape accusation, like happens so often in life. But this episode is about healthcare, um, and
And
I
lack
really like it
thereof.
and lack thereof. And it's a question. I gotta let me say something in defense of doctors. Right, you go through 6 years of med school and more for specialty, and you pay so much money because and you work you have to be like a great student to be in an American medical school. Like a 90 average kid is not going to get into medical school. You got to go to like St. George's Island or something to
Is
get.
cytoglobin in this episode a metaphor for insulin in real life?
Yeah, definitely. Or I mean, it actually so it prevents like cellular degeneration. So it's like just Botox basically at this point. I mean, Botox doesn't prevent degeneration, but basically it's anti-aging effects. So they're just getting anti-aging while the other people are dying of lack of insulin.
But she's very important. She's an engineer at, what was that? She's like a hydroelectric dam or something.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
some
yeah.
sort of engineer. So she's important.
And she could get an extra 5 years from her lifespan. But yeah, hemoglobin is part of your blood.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about what else Greg Eitzen was in. He was the one who tried to get Dax executed because Curzon slept with his mom, though he didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, he was on
Um,
DS9. You're right.
he was in, I think he's in Enterprise as a really angry Vulcan. I think he's in TNG too. He shows up all over the place.
Oh, that's cool. He's a recurring series actor. Oh, irrigation facility. So yeah,
Oh, that's why I recognize him so strongly. He was in, well, he is an angry Vulcan. But also I just rewatched Who Mourns for Morn, and he's one of the criminal people in that episode.
yeah. He was recurring on DS9.
He's a lot of things. He's always a villain though. He never gets to play a good guy.
He has a deep timbre to his voice. That's true. So it's a huge problem too. It's like when you have doctors from like poor communities or um, minority communities, they'll go and like move to a rich neighborhood or like a whiter neighborhood because you're a doctor now. You don't have to live in the low income neighborhood anymore, the lower middle income neighborhood. You're clearly gonna be living in a better neighborhood, and
Now,
then
I
you're
don't have personal experience with that situation, but just from you saying it, that sounds like it'll leave low income and minority neighborhoods with limited access to medical care in general.
yeah, and that's an astonishing thing about American medical thing is that like rural areas, if you're like
But
91
look, this
years
is
old
Star Trek has nothing to do with real life situations. This is all just it's just sci-fi. Don't worry about it.
no, it's true though. See, imagine you're a doctor or nurse, and you could you could work in this place where people are just dying, like every day, like and you get to watch them suffer horribly, like this poor kid, and or you could go to Level Blue, and like just treat happy people, and who have like barely any problems. Like their biggest problem is their pet accessory company is not as successful as they thought it would be.
Anyway, long story short, America got problems.
Yeah. So actually, the government actually and several counties they're trying to start a program to lure. Well, they do this for teachers.
Lure,
They do this.
lure doctors,
They do this for
trap them.
teachers too. It's like, hey, can you come back to like the low income neighborhoods and the underprivileged
Wait,
neighborhoods?
wait. Are those medical beds triangular? Are those triangle beds?
Yeah,
Oh, that's a good bed.
they're like TOS.
God,
By the way,
I should get a triangle bed.
I love the luxury leather chairs. They're like they're like sofa chairs, but they're stretched with leather. So basically, like all the comfort you want. And this person gets
Wait, so
cytoglobin every
you can
hour.
just lie to the computer? I thought the whole point was that the computer knows everything about what everyone needs. This, I think this whole system's messed up.
It's so
It's taking
tough
too much
because
user input.
could I say that like Canada has universal health care and like sometimes the emergency room or like it'll take 6 months or a year out to get your surgery or your knee surgery or 2 year like 18 months. So there's the thing where I was gonna say before, like it's really tough. Um, it's really tough how much like free healthcare you want to give, but
Have we tried killing the weak?
right, like in the screen in front of us, we've got
I
to do
vote
a
we
little bit better.
purge.
We got to do a little bit better than this, which is like insulin is ridiculously expensive. Like fortunately, our government put a cap on insulin price only in the past year or two, but that's just because
Jesus, who's that guy? Is this a new alien? I don't even recognize this man. Mr. Kip. Okay, let me look up Mr. Kip. Kip played by John Franklin. Who's this guy? This is his only
great.
Star
It's a
Trek
great character.
episode.
It's a great character.
Oh, and that's is that Jerry from Parks and Rec? It totally is. Everybody loves that guy. He can never catch a break, though. Can never catch a break in the show. Can never catch a break in this show. Well, I guess he does catch a break in Parks and Rec, actually. Just off screen. Oh, poor Jerry.
I wanted
Why'd
to
you
say that.
gotta break his heart like that?
So,
Okay, did she murder someone? She looks. You can tell by someone's body language in TV whether they've murdered someone or not. Look at the way she's lounging. That's a murder lounge.
true, 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 true.
She's in some way evil.
Very true. So I wanted to say that the funny thing is about doctors, even though they go through all this grueling education and they're like A students and it costs so much money, and you have to put all this stuff in your brain. Um, Doctors are the only professionals who don't. If they see a patient for 15 minutes and then do an hour of paperwork, they don't get paid for that hour of paperwork. So it's the only professional task where you're not paid for routine administrative tasks, or you have to pay somebody else. Kind of ridiculous. Like I don't envy them either, because but then that's why they stop caring.
Oh,
This
the
this
doctor cured him.
well,
He's cured. He's fine.
uh-huh. It's all right.
He's gonna be totally fine. Or, they could just get a replicator. If they could get a replicator, they could solve all their problems. I'm
The
not sure
doctors
a replicator is a good idea to introduce to your sci-fi franchise, because it solves so many problems. Wow, savage.
this kid is like so selfless. Like
Yeah, that's
he's
how
worried.
you know he's gonna die.
Yeah, he's worried about other people. Aw, isn't that cute?
If people like him don't survive on TV, not in the industry, just on the show itself. Is he
So the doctor
programmed to do this?
and the doctor just like straight up lied by telling the kid, "Yeah, I changed your society level." Oh, but while we're criticizing America, China has something called like a social credit system, where basically doing things like not paying your bills on time, not speaking against the government, all improves your social credit system, and that is the only way to get like jobs and housing and things like that. So,
So you're saying that this is the level where people with low social credit go.
yeah,
Level blue is the high social credit.
we can easily head towards a society where everybody gets a number of how valuable they are, or how, frankly, subordinate they are to the, society or government or whatever.
So this guy's so getting fired.
Yeah. Hey, codpiece. Yo.
Yo,
Hey, Robo.
I don't think that's Robo.
Okay.
So okay, this whole conversation, so they have the cytoglobin to cure everybody and do the preventative medicine for everybody. They just don't.
Yeah.
All they have to do is get it allocated to them. Also, what cure rate? They're not curing anything.
Yeah, they're just doing anti-aging cellular decay. I like the premise of this episode though, because at first the doctor is like sold to these people. Oh, and this is something called bureaucratic, like budgetary creep, because basically, if you don't request the same funding, or if you don't use up all your funding, you're going to get less
Yes, if
funding next year. So
if you
it's in
don't
your
eat all your apples next
next
time
time
you
they'll be
won't
like,
get as
oh well,
many.
where can we cut the budget? Oh well, they didn't use 6% of their budget, so here's a budget cut of 6%, since obviously you don't need it.
Does the allocator have a replicator? Where's it getting all the extra cytoglobin?
I
Because
think
this whole situation implies resource shortage. But the fact that
I,
they can allocate it here.
are they taking the hemoglobin from the people who die?
Cytoglobin. Did I say hemoglobin? Cytoglobin.
No, you said cytoglobin, I said hemoglobin.
What? Wait, is cytoglobin a real thing? I don't know anything
No,
about medicine.
hemoglobin is a real thing. It's the thing that makes your blood red.
Yeah. I
But
heard.
yeah. But
Wait, no. Hang on.
so cyto would be blue,
Cytoglobin
right?
is a protein product for
Oh,
humans and
okay.
mammals. A globin molecule ubiquitously expressed in all tissues and most notably utilized in marine mammals. Okay.
Oh wow.
It
But
protects against hypoxia.
which is like,
Transfers oxygen from arterial blood to the brain.
oh no way. So you really do need it. It's as important as hemoglobin.
Well,
Hemoglobin is what carries the oxygen in your blood, and then
how's
cytoglobin,
everyone's hemoglobin levels?
pretty
Got
good.
enough hemoglobin?
I think so. I'm not anemic.
God, look at how wide-eyed
Oh,
and happy he is. He's so
he
gonna
is
die.
such an ideal
He is
optimist.
screwed.
Optimistic about the future.
Yeah, that doesn't work in TV. You can't do that. People complain about modern Star Trek being really dark, but I mean, old Star Trek does this thing where everybody happy dies.
Yeah, this is. I mean, by the way, this kid, the doctor promises him the cure. Like, you're in no position to promise anyone anything. And also, if you're handing out them, you could have just saved them for one person. So he purposely is just. I love
Wait,
this.
wait, wait, wait. Okay, your stepmom was walking with cane and crutches, had an operation fixed, it didn't help, and the doctor called her lazy for not being able to walk. What is happening here? Is this America again? What is happening with the medical system? Have you tried pulling your spine up by its bootstraps? Oh wow, they're actually using the transporter for once. They should do this more often. Oh god, look at that. The color of that sky.
Hey, T. It looks like Discovery when they're on that scrapyard planet. They all have to work.
Level white. Yeah, patient recovery area. Oh.
Like, if you're gonna do like the illicit hero thing, you can save one person. You can't try to save everybody on the floor and just
Well, you
hand out
can
pills.
try. He was ruining the vibe of the episode, Doctor. He had to go.
The guy doesn't even care about his name.
Yeah, whatever. Do you know how many people die in this hospital? You can't get attached to every one of them. That's it might be a little harsh.
So
Could
depressing.
potentially be construed as evil, but you know. Who needs ethical standards when you've got profit, Doctor?
Okay. Could I be the administrator here for a second? This evil guy. Okay.
Sure, you can be
Um.
evil.
So the thing is, the most expensive thing about Medicare and Medicaid is terminal healthcare. Like, when somebody's in a hospice, it's like $10,000 a month or whatever it is, and then they can be in there for like a year or whatever. So that costs so much money. So at some point, we do have to restrict. I'm not saying healthcare shouldn't
I don't think that applies to this situation. He wasn't in
terminally ill.
hospice well, technically he was terminally ill, but he was easily cured.
He was easily
Terminally ill.
no. By the way, that's twice. By the way, they could have easily cured the secondary infection. They were just like,
Nah.
he already took too much medicine. Time for him to die. So, okay, I'm not saying okay to anybody, but what I'm saying is, right? At some point, okay, how about this, right? One of the things. Did you want to say something, Et? Okay, thank you. So one of the things that causes all this end of life stuff is obesity and heart disease, right? Those are like the number one killers and costs of like somebody having a heart attack and not needing hospital care.
So what
So
you're saying is if people are fat, we should let them die.
no. What I'm saying is we should tax soda, things that cause obesity and heart disease, so and use that to pay for healthcare.
Yeah, sin
Because
taxes.
yeah, basically.
Do you tax things like that?
No, there's no tax on soda in the United States, unfortunately. It's just sales tax.
Well, there's the fee for the recycling.
There's tobacco,
At least in California.
which is like $12 a pack or $15 a pack now in New York. But so they do that for tobacco, which is, arguably not good. Because it's good. It's good. But I'm saying we need to do that for soda and ice cream. But like that's not gonna be popular.
We have a sugar tax in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we went to war about the UK sugar tax. We weren't keen.
It was the tea tax, but yeah.
There's a sugar tax too.
And stamps.
The point of the
Frickin' stamp
tax in the
tax.
UK was to reduce the amount of sugar already used in soft drinks. Rather than
Do you still have stamp taxes over there?
By the way, the UK also has very strong animal rights and animal cruelty laws. So you can't have basically, like, I think abusing a farm animal, which is like is basically a misdemeanor in most agricultural
Is this guy
states.
a farm animal? Because he's being abused and tortured.
Yeah, if you
Well,
abuse a pig, it's not really a crime in
This
Iowa.
is definitely a crime. This is a big crime.
They've made it a felony in the United States too. So there are
Anyway.
tax stamps in the United States as well.
I'm saying soda and ice cream.
No, but the stamp
Okay.
tax was every paper document got a stamp on it that was taxed.
Oh, right.
Not like literal stamps for mail.
Paper was expensive back
No,
then.
no. I'm saying that there are tax stamps, not postage stamps, but actual tax stamps. Certain things require a tax stamp, like tobacco or alcohol, and certain kinds of other trade goods that are strictly controlled.
Firearms.
God, can we put Neelix in the break? You just poisoned a prisoner. You can't do that.
So, I don't mean to be the administrator here, right? But we do have to keep a control on exploding healthcare costs of the public, and people getting fatter and sicker from the food they eat is not going to be. We can't afford to pay for that. I'm for.
But we don't pay for it right now. That's kind of the problem. Let's get a system that pays for it. Then we'll deal with the issue of.
No, we do because frankly, I see people, like like dialysis, kidney dialysis is paid for by by old people's healthcare. What is that called? Medicaid. So
there's Medicaid and there's Medicare, and one is for people who are retired, and one's for people who are low income.
Right. But let's limit the number. Let's try to prevent people from getting kidney dialysis in the first place.
My guy wasn't at Taco Bell, and they didn't do a good job. Man, I gotta just make sure that
Taco Bell. Maybe we should put some extra tax on that to try and incentivize you not to eat there.
It's a heart attack in a
taco
box.
tax. There was a video. Somebody made a video, and this is back in like the early 2000s, very early 2000s. Internet. I'm hearing myself through someone's microphone. Oh, it's ear reviews.
Sorry, let me change my thing.
Do you have headphones?
Sounds
I
okay
do.
on my end.
They're a lame pair, and other people have told me that it echoes.
Watch his microphone. Well,
I can
I
see
guess
it
he fixed
activating,
it.
but I don't actually hear anything coming through.
So you were saying, Robo?
It was my voice on a slight delay. They made a video
Something
and a
about Taco
guy's
Bell?
trying to order a pizza. The guy's trying to order a pizza, and the person is like, "Oh, you want to get the meat lovers?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, it says your cholesterol level is this and your blood pressure is this. Your total is going to be $123." Like, it's really funny. And then he's like, "Oh, okay. What can I get for $20?" And she's like, "Well, we have the vegetable based veggie lovers and low sodium personal pan size." And he's like,
Oh, more crime.
Did you order a soda, Robo?
I got orange juice.
Like orange
Yeah,
juice
there's
or
going to be a
orange
tax
soda?
for that.
Orange juice.
Orange juice. All right, it's only half a tax. For that.
100% orange juice.
You should have bought an orange because that's better for you.
Wait. Is
The
it
fiber in
100% orange
oranges.
juice or is it made with 100% orange juice? Because those are very different things.
It
I
is
think
100% orange juice.
it's
Ingredients: orange juice.
okay, but
Okay.
here's the thing: orange juice causes the same sugar overdose that I'm complaining about with the soda. I mean, it's much better for you. Don't get me wrong; you get a lot of vitamin C
my
and a lot of
options
stuff.
my options were soda or orange juice because it was a combo. So I took the orange
Okay,
juice. I don't
fine.
want to feel like I'm
No
wasting
tax.
money.
No tax for that since you chose the healthier option.
I could also have taken unsweetened iced tea, but I didn't want the caffeine.
Well, this is such a big crime. You can't do. Why is everybody in this episode committing so many crimes?
Oh, you know why? Because it's a crime to let people die when you have the medicine.
Because the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
That's a crime too. You have plenty.
Apparently, you do have an
of
adequate supply.
Please, you liar. Oh my god. Arterial aging is like the least of our concerns. You should see that
Do the
young
Federation way,
optimistic kid die
when
for no
organs and arteries
reason.
just start failing, you just pull them out and put in new ones. God, I would love to be able to just swap out all my arteries with new ones. That'd be great.
We're getting very close to organ harvesting. I think we're all gonna have to get used to it. And the great thing
Get
about
used
organ
to it. That
harvesting,
sounds awesome.
the great thing is that it'll be your own DNA, so your chances of rejection is 0. Because that's the worst part of getting an organ transplant is you have to take tons of medication to suppress your immune system. Because
That's fine. Get rid of. Don't give me meat arteries. Give me like aluminum arteries or whatever they make it out of. Titanium.
Hold on. There's a movie about this, and in fact, I think Ethan Phillips is in it. It has the guy who played Ewan McGregor, where there all these
The
people
guy who
living in
played
this
Ewan
facility.
McGregor.
The guy who played Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then I remembered his name, Ewan McGregor. All these people are living in this facility, and they every once in a while, like, they have no idea what's going on, but every once in a while someone gets selected and they ascend. But really what they're all clones of like wealthy famous people, and when someone ascends it's because they're being harvested for tissue.
Wow.
Cool.
What was it called? And then he escapes.
I was thinking Gattaca. But that's
I
not
think that's the story
No,
of the
it's not
Cats
Gattaca.
musical.
So
Well, they don't specify what happens at the ascension, but
the-
I'm pretty sure it's organ harvesting.
the thing is that you do need to keep a control on these costs. There's too much salt in our food also, which causes hypertension. We really need to change the diet. And I hate to be like lecturing people on, and in a way, for example, at the very least, and I hate to say this, but people who receive food stamps, you should not be able to buy ice cream and soda with food stamps. And I hate saying that because you're moralizing the poor. You're like lecturing them on how they should live or whatever. But again, if you're already poor, your chances of having bad health are way higher, and bad access to healthcare.
So, okay, back to the Dr. Dysek. I said earlier, this guy never gets to play a good guy. He's always a villain. I don't think he's a villain here. I mean, he's
No.
committing big crimes.
He gets
but
a change of heart.
He's actually trying to help people. Wow, good for you, Dr. Disick. Wait, are you Disick? Or is the sick man Disick? I don't know.
So
But yeah, if Voyager gave them like a replicator, their entire society would change.
true. True.
We
But
gave the bloody Kazon a replicator. What did we give them? Transport. We gave them something.
we gave them water out of thin air.
No, later on.
They wanted replicators, and we just gave them water.
Okay.
But the thing is, they go full Section 31 changeling on this guy. We're gonna infect you until you surrender.
I appreciate that they beamed down with a gun.
He's pointing a gun at him. We're
Yeah,
here
whatever.
to save you.
He's not.
Pointing a gun at him.
It's fine. They can point a gun straight at him as long as they don't hit the emitter.
I mean,
Yeah,
these are really hard questions to like wrestle with.
A lot of times away teams, they beam down and then they quickly pull out a gun, like in the middle of a battle.
Yeah.
But
They never had it
at least
ready.
these guys, they just had the gun out already during
They're like,
transport.
it's a hospital. Let's have our phaser out. They're so chicken.
I mean, doctors many times in Star Trek have like taken over ships, disabled security officers. Doctors are savage in Star Trek. Mostly they hypo people. Aggressive hypos.
Yeah, this time too, he bent the guy over and hypoed him in the back of the neck. Ruthless. Yeah, there's a problem with your ethical sovereignty, Doctor. You like strong-armed a man into...
Whatever. He was barely a man. He was a coward.
I mean, he was a faceless bureaucrat. It's kind of, it's what basically every Voyager or Trek episode is about. Follow the rules, but then you break the rules when it makes sense to you.
Doctor, those are Federation ideals. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. They say that all the time.
Like
Federation ideals.
Kirk has stolen the Enterprise so many times. It's kind of gotten old.
Also, shouldn't it be B'Elanna doing this checkup?
Yeah,
for
in
him?
the early seasons, it would have been B'Elanna doing the checkup.
You steal the Enterprise one time,
I'm pretty
and
sure it was
suddenly
more
you're
than
the guy
once.
that stole the Enterprise. He stole the Enterprise in search for Spock. That was it. Unless you count Undiscovered Country, where,
Yeah.
the whole crew went and rescued him.
Excelsior too, yeah.
But he didn't steal it. He was in prison. Can't blame him.
Well, I'm going to anyway. And I'm also going to say, next episode is Inside Man. Everyone queue up, Season 7, Episode 6. It's all about Lieutenant Broccoli. Hollow Broccoli.
Did you get French fries, Drogo?
Suits. I got French fries in my burrito.
I need a tax on that.
You and taxes.
They soak French fries in sugar and salt, in sugar water.
Yeah.
So they taste better. So everything has sugar in it. They're making you a
sugar's delicious.
Food. Yeah, but you're not supposed to eat that much sugar according to evolutionary standards.
Well, evolution can deal with itself.
No, it's not. That's why healthcare is so expensive.
It's fine. Just give us like 300,000 years to adapt. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll get.
Let's play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play.
If it's any consolation, there's this new girl at Taco Bell, and she does a terrible job on the food. I know it's been heard both times.
You know what? After this stream, I'm gonna go and eat a big spoonful of sugar just to spite you.
Please don't.
Make sure you put butter on it. Put a tablespoon of butter.
Yes, butter and sugar.
Here's the thing, right? If you did a tablespoon of butter and sugar, it wouldn't be half as bad as a can of Coke, which has like
I'm gonna go and fill
teaspoons.
my Janeway mug with melted butter.
There's like 28 teaspoons of sugar in a Coke. Like it's ridiculous. And
You know
at
what?
7-Eleven,
Here's something for you that you're gonna hate. Right now, right in my hand, I have a Diet Pepsi. It doesn't have sugar in it, but it's still wildly unhealthy.
yeah, the aspartame and all that isn't great.
I'm gonna drink my Diet Pepsi right now, and
I
there's
would
nothing you
rather
can do to
instead of
stop me.
get real sugar soda instead of high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah,
What
I
even is
agree.
this? Carbonated water, caramel color,
I
aspartame.
agree. Yeah,
Aspartame. Yep.
yeah.
No
But
high fructose corn syrup.
there's also stevia and the
Sativas.
sweet and low.
Ooh, phosphoric acid and potassium benzoate.
Oh, is this where we get the doctor or Barclay?
Yeah, this is Barkley.
But
Which
hijack Barclay.
again, broccoli is the worst vegetable.
That's why you said broccoli. I thought Robo got broccoli with his Taco Bell.
No, no,
Oh,
Lieutenant Broccoli.
okay.
Seriously, even with seasoning, like the stalk of the broccoli tastes fine. I do not like the texture of the leaves. What are they called on broccoli?
Treetops. The
The florets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not like the texture of the floor. It's just not good.
To me,
So
I see
that's the best
fractals
part.
when I look at broccoli.
It's the
I just
worst
think it's the
part.
most mathematical kind of thing, like trees.
So broccoli comes from wild mustard, and so does cauliflower and cabbage and like 10 other vegetables that we eat. It's all comes from wild mustard.
Okay, so
Some
it's
variation.
immediately obvious this is fake evil Barkley because he's confident. They're not even trying to hide it.
Right. Broccoli's Barclay is never that uh gung
Well,
ho.
Barkley would make his own hologram everything he's not, right?
Right.
So I don't know, maybe.
Um.
Are you saying the Obama administration is forcing him to be something he's not? It's what he always feared.
Obama administration.
Last stream, it was mentioned that Dwight Schultz kind of went off the deep end.
Oh yeah. He's
He
like a fringe conspiracy
but
theorist.
becoming something he's not. Let's put it this way: becoming something he's not was a significant fear for him.
That's so funny.
Oh, broccoli. It turns out asparagus, though. Asparagus is pretty good. Roasted asparagus with salt and pepper. Not bad. Any other good vegetables? I mean, potatoes are good, but everyone knows potatoes.
Carrots,
Yeah, I'm trying to think of vegetables
sweet peas.
that generally aren't considered as good. Like, I'm looking for B tier vegetables. Carrots, potatoes, those are S or A tier. What's a good B or C tier vegetable?
Oh, jeez.
Is cauliflower B tier? It's okay. Ah, it said Dwight Schultz as Barkley, not Lieutenant Barkley, because it's not Lieutenant Barkley. It's fake Barkley.
But they show him on Earth too in this episode.
Yeah. What are you talking about, Barkley? Geodesic radiation, what does that even mean? Geodesic is like a conceptual thing. It's not a particle. Wait, what do you mean? But they didn't mention Barkley at all, or just this plan? Because they should know Barkley. He's literally the first person to make contact with Voyager. Just delete him now. Just get rid of it's. Why are you sending me links to papers and private messages?
It's geodesic radiation.
Circular geodesic radiation in spatial space-time.
Geodesic synchrotron radiation in black hole spacetimes. Analytical investigation. Here we go. Maybe it's not bullshit.
The emission of scalar electromagnetic and gravitational radiation.
He stole the doctor's mobile emitter.
But a geodesic is just the word for like the shortest route through a curved space. Because the shortest route isn't always a straight line. Which I guess applies to black holes because the space-time's all screwy there. I don't know. What? No, you can't call Starfleet. It's a secret. You can't talk to anyone about it. And yeah, sending a hologram instead of just an email. They've said before that they like have to send a hologram because it's a more stable type of data stream. It's unclear to me why it works the way that it does. Because, it doesn't. But apparently you have to send a hologram. It's the rule. God, he's so evil. Look at the expression on his face. He's smiling. Barclay is not allowed to smile. Something terribly wrong here. Oh yeah, Arcturus. Also known as Ray Wise, with his... What was that ship called? He made some fancy fake Starfleet ship that apparently Starfleet later just copied and made an actual ship.
We've seen Voyager do that.
What, go through transwarp conduits?
Hasn't Voyager? Or they will.
They definitely will. I don't know if they have. Though the only time I specifically remember them going through a conduit...
They were inside of a sphere.
Yeah, they were inside a cube, and then...
torpedoes.
There was that time when they rescued Seven. The Borg cube took Voyager inside the ship. And then at the very end of the series, they were inside a sphere.
Well, the last time we saw Barclay, he was creating a wormhole conduit for communication, not for travel.
But it was a micro wormhole.
Yeah. But here too, it's a conduit for information. He tries flattering Seven here.
Because he's evil. Yeah, you were Borg. That's the point. God, no, I'm putting the evil guy.
Right now, this dialogue was written by Rick himself. You're the person most people are most interested in seeing.
I don't know.
That's why it's so
I
convincing.
can believe... What was that?
I said that's why it's so convincing because Rick Berman wrote it, and he's an expert gaslighter.
Oh, Rick Berman. But no, the real person we all want to see is the Doctor. Who cares about Seven? Okay, a lot of people care about Seven. Seven's pretty good. But the Doctor, though.
We saw in the episode where they thought they were going back home, like tomorrow, like everybody thought, except for Seven, Naomi, and Waman. Seven does not have an attachment to Earth. Obviously she was assimilated as a little girl, so everybody else cares about going back home. She couldn't care less.
See, what are you doing?
Sorry.
I think it
This
goes
is real
deeper than
Barkley
that.
because he's all
I think
stuttery.
she doesn't want to go home because this is the only family she's known, and that would be the end of it.
That's why she was so good in the episode about the evil space whale. The pitcher plant.
Yeah.
She's as obsessed with Voyager as she was with getting back to the Borg.
She has an obsessive personality.
Hmm. She's a overly attached girlfriend. But if we go home to the Alpha Quadrant, you won't spend so much time with me. Ah!
She's a traumatized child.
And then she keys your car. Hmm.
They don't
She
even
keys the
have
Delta
cars
Flyer.
in the
The
Federation.
Delta Flyer.
She was very traumatized.
They do have cars in the Federation.
Do they?
Did you not see Star Trek 2009?
I remember there was a car in Star Trek Into Darkness in the beginning. Oh, right.
It's
His
2009.
dad's car that he threw off a cliff.
That's Kelvin timeline. It's not Ken.
At that point, it should be the same timeline because it was before. Wait, no.
No, that was after. But
Yeah.
the car was built before the timeline change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the car existed before the timeline change. There you go. Unless all the Calvin movies are just in a different.
Is that a Borg
universe
conduit in the back
altogether.
of the room? Oh, now the teacher's
something.
blocking it.
Why do they let little kids into like top secret Daystrom Institute?
Because they're too stupid to understand the classified information.
Because they're not actually children. They're an experiment. Don't you remember the experiment from Next Generation? Do you remember the kids that they were genetically engineering with telekinesis and shit?
Yeah, one time. That was before we retconned that episode to make it massively illegal.
And
yeah, whatever.
In TNG, second graders learn calculus. So I don't know about genetically engineered, but kids are very smart.
Certain early TNG episodes and a lot of TOS, I'm not sure are really canon anymore because they seem to directly contradict what's established later.
Well, the funny thing is, in the Middle Ages, algebra was like college level mathematics. It was pretty groundbreaking.
People in the Middle Ages were stupid.
It's not that they were stupid. It took a while for us to. It comes from the Arabic word al-jabar, which is joining of the disjointed parts. So the Arab philosophers got it from the Indian mathematicians. There was probably Chinese influence somewhere, and eventually got transmitted to Europe and Asia and Central Asia. So
it really looks like a Borg thing in the back.
It is. It's like when Seven had that 29th century baby.
And yes, of course, the world's most famous prop with the blinky red lights.
So the thing is that
not as good as the triangle.
Algebra was pretty cutting edge.
The Parity Disruptor.
And now Common Core involves like second, third graders doing it because instead of teaching you subtraction, they jump right to 4 plus blank equals 7. Figure out the missing number.
Now they're teaching kids multiple ways to learn a math problem, which when I went to school, there was one way or the highway.
They're changing the way we teach kids to make it more generalized and useful in broader application. How dare they?
Oh, I think it's great.
How dare they?
What they're really missing in schools is like general life skills that, like how to not get taken in by predatory lending schemes and things like that. Like how does financing work?
How to not invest in dicey crypto platforms.
Like so you don't finance a 15-year-old car at 24.99%.
They used to teach you how to balance a checkbook in high school.
Who
Yeah.
uses checkbooks
Yeah, they did.
anymore? Some kind of
I know.
troglodyte.
Fair enough, but balancing a checkbook requires you to at least make sure you put in more money than you took out of your bank account.
I don't
Kind of
understand
important.
why that's because these days you just like look at your bank account and you just is the number higher or lower than it used to be. Like it's
No,
not
okay,
that
but
hard.
here's my criticism would be this: like they don't make kids memorize the multiplication table anymore. You should know your 12 times tables. Just walking around.
What's 12 times 11?
121.
False.
Times 11. Times 11 is the easiest one to do because you just double the number usually.
132.
It's 132.
Okay, I'm not.
Should have multiplied your 12s. You have failed. Also, that's clearly a Bajoran pad. Like they walk around and just type stuff into. Why is it on the array? And why is it a Ferengi Marauder using a Bajoran pad that's like 40 feet long?
They take it from all over the quadrant.
Quark sent it to him.
So they have no encryption security in Starfleet.
No, we know this.
If you
Starfleet is terrible at cybersecurity.
how did you if you just encrypted Barclay, this problem would have never happened.
Oh, get out of
did.
here, Rick.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Freaking Rick Berman. What are you doing here?
Boy. At least they're not showing us a Umok.
Here's the businessman. So 3.6 million nanoprobes isn't a lot.
So hold on a second.
Who's
Hold on
paying
a second.
3.6
Are
bars
you-
for one nanoprobe?
Ryan, are you thinking of this prop? Are you thinking of this prop?
Yes.
That is a Ferengi pad,
Okay.
not a Bajoran pad.
Okay, well, the second half of the point remains, why is there a pad that's like 20 feet long attached to a space station?
Well, it's just supposed to look like a Ferengi device, and they based it off this, I'm sure.
Is this
Wow, this guy,
Rysag?
look at this makeup that this guy had to put on for one scene. He was
Like
on
2
the shot
seconds.
for 12 seconds. Come on.
Here's another thing I
Piranha
don't
Certus.
understand. Wait, is this a set?
No.
No,
This
this
is
is on,
sunny
this is on
California.
location.
Okay, because
Yeah.
it looked like the beach like curved away and just stopped. So I was thinking like the water was just green screened in.
Maybe actually you're
Hold
right.
on, hold on a second. Hold on a second. She was okay with complete strangers seeing her in her bathing suit, but then when Reg came,
Dude,
she's
it's
like, "Oh,
Barkley."
gotta cover up. Gotta cover
Yeah, of
up."
course. It's
mean-
Barkley, man.
Yeah, it's
Barkley's
Barkley.
He's gonna
He's hit
put this
on
in his
her.
new holodeck
He's-
program.
He's hit on her a few times. And
He made the goddess of empathy.
he's made copies of her in the holodeck.
Yeah.
If there's anyone you should
see,
cover
alright,
up
listen,
around besides
listen.
Rick Berman, it's Barkley.
Listen,
And-
this is an
and
example. This is an
he's-
example of the horns
he's-
effect. Okay, she had one bad experience with him, and now all of her
No.
future interactions.
Okay,
It was
no,
a pretty big
he's-
experience.
He's also stalking her on her vacation. So
Also, no,
this
the
is
water's not a
third
green screen.
This is the third infraction. This is not the
Look,
one infraction.
Look. He's trying to save Voyager.
Okay.
And he ends up being right. All right, so the ends
Yeah.
justify
He
the
was
means
saying that the
here.
Borg were hiding in the Sol system. That's ridiculous. that could never
knows the real
happen.
problem. He just refuses to accept it.
So that's the comedic punch of the Barkley character. Like he's right, but everyone says, "Oh, you have mental issues. Of course, you're hallucinating or overreacting."
Wait, is he an author self-insert for Rick Berman? Like Wesley was a self-insert for Gene Roddenberry?
I don't think so. I think Rick
There's-
Berman probably sees
mean-
himself a little more
Mhm. Debonair.
suave. Yeah.
Oh, like
maybe
the fake Hollow
Okana-
Barkley.
Okana? Maybe Okana was a self-insert.
So there's I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh, Okana, the actor who played Okana was also on tried out for Riker. He could have been Riker.
I don't know if I'd be down for that.
There's
I
also this recurring trope of somebody falling in love with their therapist, and obviously somebody like listens to you for hours and hours, and they know you and they understand your
she's so
life.
nice to me. It's her
Something about
job.
Leosa, yeah. So, um,
Yeah, that's
that's
like falling in love with a stripper.
Yeah, it's like this
No.
stripper's really interested in me. It's not just the money I'm giving her.
I was thinking more
There's
like
a real
barista,
connection
but
there.
okay.
That's funny, but the thing is though, it's also something in psychology we know. It's called transference, where basically, whatever your issues are, you kind of wind up falling in love with your therapist, um, because like all that energy is being channeled into the person who sits there patiently, and they have to like draw a boundary always with their patients. But like she's asking about his prior relationships, basically what a friend would do. Like my best friend told me I need to, get
Okay,
myself a relationship.
I figured it out. His girlfriend was a spy for the Ferengi and she
Yeah,
transferred the
yeah, yeah,
information.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
get a TV show. Move along.
I thought she loved me.
She totally breached Pathfinder security. 100%. Also, that means Barclay's going to get fired, right? Because he gave secrets to some rando?
Yeah. It's funny because
Oh my god, yes, Reg, we know it's not subtle. Yes, she stole your hologram.
she only loved you for the schematics.
Couldn't you just make a copy of the hologram then?
No, that's not how
Why?
holograms work in Star Trek.
Yeah, why do they make it seem like when you steal the program, it's gone? It's like, no, you
That's
just
how it
copy it.
works.
Yeah.
Control C, not Control X. Come on.
I think
They forgot to put the tape over the little hole at the top.
it's like she just stole the hard drive.
Oh my god, I think I'm probably one of the only people here old enough to get that reference.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that went over everyone's head.
They didn't flip the switch in the corner of the disc. So back in the day,
The-
VHS cassettes had a little square tab in the corner of the cassette, and if you broke the tab out, the VCR would not record over the tape. So like all commercial VHS tapes didn't have the tab there, so you didn't accidentally record over it. And then the way you would record over it was put a piece of Scotch tape over it so that the recorder would write to the tape.
Cassette tapes too. Audio cassette tapes too.
and the floppy disks, 1.44 megabytes.
Yeah, they had a
They had
switch in the
they
corner.
had a little a lock thing in the corner too.
Mhm.
I think the 5 1/4 ones also had a notch that you would have to punch out, and then you could cover it with tape as well.
Oh, by the way, this is a great comedy gold we just missed because he's doing impressions of like Janeway. So he's so rude, but like he likes being popular with the Voyager crew. He's so mean to the Doctor.
Mhm.
Doctor, just grab it. It's your emitter. Take it back.
Yeah, you really should.
What?
Ooh.
Did the Ferengi program him to be violent?
So
Yeah, no,
obviously,
seems legit. Seems good.
Starfleet replicator
Wait,
can't.
can a hologram hurt another hologram?
I mean, he almost
Sure.
bent his golf club in half.
Well, he doesn't feel pain.
Right.
She's doing the
No,
evil lounge. A Ferengi game, you say? You work for the Ferengi.
They really need to do more background checks in Starfleet. You know, in another series, Troy also invokes protocol and has something reported to Starfleet immediately.
I don't know what you're referring to.
Picard season 3.
Oh, yeah. By the way, it's if people are worried about Picard season 3 spoilers, too bad. It is now we are past the threshold, so to speak. To use Voyager parlance, we can just talk about it.
Yeah, so when we find out that Jack is what he is, Troy says that there's protocols and he needs to be arrested, which was a great moment because that's when Jack says, "Well, I don't need you because I'll rather go see the Borg Queen by myself."
And those
If you're
protocols
gonna,
clearly are new because there are
right?
so many times in TNG she could have invoked them. Just remember that time that Picard admitted to being possessed by an alien force? And they're
Yeah.
like, well, what do? We can't relieve him of command. He's still the captain. It's like, what do you mean? He
Yeah,
just said he was
And-
possessed.
And that Vulcan Institute, I think that's where Cybok was, though, right? The Vulcan place where they just keep you.
Yeah,
Like,
they keep all the
under
people who don't conform to their social credit system.
Yeah, but obviously he didn't want to go there. But it was cool for them to bring that up. But that's when Jack goes rogue. Once Troy throws the book at him.
She should have pulled a gun.
Pretty sure leaking classified information. And this
This
is
also
evil.
feels like a big crime.
This is evil because it just shows that. It just shows that like.
This is an
Starfleet's-
abuse of power, is what it is.
Yeah, Starfleet's gonna lock you away for no reason, using their institution.
Admiral Layton may have, maybe things wouldn't have been so different under him. It's already the Federation is already ruled by Starfleet anyway.
Yeah.
You can't just threaten people, Troy.
As lame as the episode kind of is, I actually like seeing a Ferengi marauder, at the edge of the sun trying to dupe Voyager, steal technology. It's not a bad episode.
Are Ferengi Marauders intimidating again? Because they were supposed to be scary in like TNG season 1, then they turned into a joke. Now are they a threat? What's the deal?
No, it's a joke. It's a joke because the ship is like shaped in a very cute way, not in a menacing way.
I can't believe they seriously. Not just that they tried to make the Ferengi intimidating, but that they attempted it in the manner that they did, where they were like dancing around the set with their weird blue tube whips.
Yeah,
and bad. Also they were zoomed in like on 100-foot screen, like all you see is their face. Like, it's not that hard to adjust the lens.
And I can't believe Quark was one of them.
True.
I think Quark did more for the Ferengi than anyone else to make them.
No, but
to
Quark
change them
was
from that original image.
Quark was the original image. One of those was Quark.
Yeah, Armin Shimmerman was a Ferengi in The Last Outpost, which is the first real episode of TNG. He was the original Ferengi, or one of the three.
He was so bad.
He was Damon Bach, who was the first Ferengi to appear ever, actually. Yeah.
I don't know if that's accurate.
Oh, okay. No, he was.
He definitely was on the planet though, with the gatekeeper or whatever his name was.
He was also on the big screen, though. I think. Yeah.
I believe Voyager brings Ferengis into it again with that one episode where they got stranded by the caretaker and they ended up ruling that one planet.
With religion, yeah.
That wasn't stranded by the caretaker. In Next Generation, they used an unstable wormhole and they ended up in the Delta Quadrant and they got stranded there.
Right. That's what it was.
And that was like season 2 or 3. That was, I think, before 7 of 9 even joined the show, right? We already saw it. It's been a while back.
Yeah, it was relatively recent, in a month, like 2 months ago.
was it False Prophets? I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
was the name
yeah,
of the
yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
It's a pun on the term prophet.
Yeah. Season 3, episode 5.
False prophets.
Oh, that was a while ago.
I know Voyager gets a lot of shit as being like one of the crappier series, but like there's something about it that I really do enjoy.
It has some
Good
good
show.
moments. It has some really bad moments, but it has some good moments too. It's the Star Trek that I was like I most grew up with, if that makes sense.
TNG.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. No Voyager.
Oh, really? Okay.
TNG was
TNG was started when I was very, very young. So and Deep Space Nine, like I was watching like partway through Deep Space Nine. I remember watching the beginning of Deep Space Nine very from when it was first airing, but I have the most vivid memories of Voyager.
Yeah, I think I
Is
was too
Janeway your
young
favorite?
to appreciate Deep Space Nine, and then when I got older, I really appreciated it.
Deep Space Nine is, I think, my favorite.
Yeah, it is now.
But is
probably.
Cisco your favorite? Is Ben Cisco the favorite?
Cisco is good. I think Avery Brooks might be crazy.
That's why he's so good.
I know. That's also the thing with Tom Cruise. He's insane. So it makes him a good actor. Angelina Jolie.
But no, Ben Cisco is the exact opposite of Avery Brooks, because Avery Brooks is just apparently super chill. And Ben is he's a very angry man. He's very yelly. I don't know if Avery Brooks has ever yelled in his life outside of Star Trek.
You don't know if he did anything else? He did
If he's ever yelled ever in his
oh,
life
I saw
outside of Star
Roots
Trek.
with well, I didn't see Roots or finish it because it's too violent. But and I was watching with my dad at the time. But Roots has both Avery Brooks and LeVar Burton in it, which I need to watch.
Didn't he play a detective? It was like Hawk or something.
Yeah.
From just before Deep Space Nine, and that's what he was known for. That's why they didn't want him to. They wanted to distance him from that character. That's why they wanted him to have hair and not a goatee, because his character on the other show was bald with a goatee.
Oh well.
How fast does he regrow that goatee? Jesus. Was he doing the two shows at the same time and he had to like keep shaving and regrowing?
I mean, I'm sure the Ferengi
one was before the other.
The Ferengi can't find nanoprobes any closer. Like,
well, not without risking being assimilated by the Borg.
True. Okay, but something really cool, right? I read a really amazing article in the London Review of Books about the amazing technological revolution that transistors are before in our lifetimes. So the original transistors were pneumatic tubes, and then eventually we started using semiconductor materials to make them smaller and smaller. And now your iPhone has transistors that are 2 nanometers across.
You have an iPhone?
You mean vacuum tubes? Vacuum tubes are not transistors. They serve the same purpose, but that's what makes
it's
a vacuum tube a vacuum tube and a transistor.
They're metaphorical transistors.
It's just a 0 and 1, which you need to compute, right? So the original way we did that was vacuum tubes, and then later we figured out you can do that with semiconductors, and then later we figured out you could stack the transistors on top of each other, and then make them smaller and smaller. So, did you want to say something, Arbru head?
Oh no, I was gonna wait for you to finish talking. It's okay. I got excited because you're talking about semiconductors, and that's my job.
Oh, really?
You'll be waiting for a while.
Feel free to interrupt.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I read long form articles, and I appreciate history.
Is this why you watch Jessie Gender videos? Because they're like 3 hours long.
Oh God, I love her, but sometimes I'm just like, I have stuff to do today.
I keep seeing topics of videos that she does that sound interesting, and I looked at it, it's like, it's 4 hours. I've got stuff to do. Jessie, come on.
I like what's it? Philosophy Tube also.
Yeah, she just put one out actually.
She does like 2-hour philosophy lectures, which is really amazing.
Give me like 20 minutes, Jesse.
49 minutes was the length of our last one.
How does that work? How does that work?
Don't
What?
worry about it. It's fine.
It's electrical overload.
We've never seen
Hologram.
anything like this before.
And
Actually, no.
we never will again. Don't worry about it.
No, the isometric projection life form that was a serial killer with B'Elanna and the doctor. He did that to B'Elanna, right? He stuck his hands in her chest and like messed with her heart.
I think the sphere builders in Enterprise do something similar.
Uh-huh.
Not holograms. They're not holograms.
And then the think tank people too, with George Costanza from Seinfeld. He's also an isomorphic projection. It's not a hologram.
Weren't the holodeck safeties on, or do they not protect against that?
That was
the mobile emitter. Mobile emitter has its own safety.
Oh, it doesn't have safeties.
Barclay can control.
So right now, the transistors made in your iPhone, they are 2 nanometers across, and that's smaller than a coronavirus, which is like 3.5.
Yeah, no. If you want an iPhone, there's going to be a tax for that.
So it's a stupid.
There
tax,
already
right?
is a tax. There already is a tax. It's a human suffering tax for all the child slave labor that goes into making iPhones.
For sure.
Has Starfleet just not sent a ship to deal with the Ferengi? Or is there no ships in range?
There's only one ship in range. It's the Enterprise.
It's
sorry,
another
we won't have our tractor beam
Enterprise.
until Tuesday. Our tractor beam hasn't been installed yet.
They're also in the corona of a star, so I don't think we can find
Yeah,
them.
no, don't worry about it. Starfleet solved that in TNG twice. It's fine.
They can't track. where they
Frickin'
are.
Dr. Beverly Crusher figured out how to fly through a star corona. Kinda.
She did, didn't she?
She stole someone else's research, but they were already dead, so whatever. Incidentally, though, that was a Ferengi, so maybe this is continuity calling back to that.
So
Ferengi can fly through stars.
here too, though, they're telling the Ferengi that Voyager's gonna fly through the star and survive.
Who is this actor?
This is the Doctor pretending to be Barclay. No, that's real Barclay.
Yeah, this is the real Barclay pretending to be the EMH.
Yeah.
Well, not the EMH, but the holographic Barclay.
Yeah.
The emergency engineering hologram.
There you go.
Seriously, send a starship. They're firing some kind of giant laser at the sun. I feel like we should do something about this.
The shrewdest businessmen in the galaxy just got fooled by Barclay.
Of all people.
They got conned by Barclay.
Man, he rolled a fucking D20 on the perception, or persuasion abilities.
Barclay is the smartest human being in history. So say whatever you want.
Ryan, do you remember when we went in our D&D campaign? We went to the port city to book passage across the ocean or the sea, and I was with, what's his name? I forgot his name now.
Could you be more specific?
The wholesome guy. The guy who likes retro hardware. No, Argos is not the wholesome guy. He had the Goblin Paladin.
Bill.
Okay. I remember his Discord name. It was Mint Lemonade. Anyway, it was me and him, and we were searching the docks, and we ended up in the one place.
This is like 2 or 3 years ago, 20s. Man.
All right, never mind.
So
I remember there was water involved somewhere.
How do they send an escape pod through the star?
You can send non-organic stuff through the fold.
Right through the geodesic fold. Right, thank you. Well, I mean, you can send organic stuff; it'll just die.
Yeah.
So, like a regular transporter.
Yeah, pretty much.
Would anybody here ever go through a transporter if they existed?
No, that's
Probably not.
instant death.
As long as I'm coming out,
Yeah, the issue is it you?
I want to
It's
see
okay.
Paris. I want to see.
You don't need to
Start
wait
making
for
soulless
transporters.
zombies.
You don't need to wait for transporters to come out your review. It's okay.
I am 100% with Bones. I'm not getting into that thing.
I think travel is such a waste of time. I just want to teleport to work, come back.
This is funny, okay? So because I've been saying this, and then Neil deGrasse Tyson said this in an interview. You don't want
Wormholes.
transporters. You don't want teleporters. You want to fold space. You want to open a wormhole between where you are and where you want to go and step through. That
Wormholes
way,
are great.
Right through the
You're
hell
not-
dimension, like an Event Horizon. That's a good idea.
yeah. I mean, I have such wonderful things to show you.
Fair enough.
You just step through and then you unfold space. That's the best way to travel, where you aren't
Murdered.
desecrated and annihilated and destroyed,
disassembled
and then
molecularly.
and then recreated on the other end.
Molecularly. All right. Whatever comes first.
Whatever comes first.
I don't want to.
He's like, I don't care if it's suicide. I just don't want to spend time on a train.
I do that all day.
I love trains.
I knew that.
Emergency Security Barkley?
How about you put encryption?
You didn't password protect your super secret hologram?
I don't want to be a third nacelle. Third nacelle, best nacelle.
Wait, are Troy and Riker actually officially back together now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are.
Nice. Wait, are
Third
they
nacelle,
married?
that's
Wait,
when you get
when
to
was
work already.
Nemesis in this context?
Nemesis is after this.
Okay, so they're just dating.
They're
Engaged.
Yeah, they're
more
an
than
item.
friends.
They're definitely an item.
I'm real, teacher.
Because
They
when he went to go
vetted
see her
her.
on the beach too, he mentioned Riker, and she said,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's not here yet."
Yeah, she says I'm meeting him tomorrow.
All right. Also, to answer chat, yeah, I, for one, personally believe that Enterprise is way better than Voyager. I love Enterprise. It's so good.
I'll agree with that.
I did not appreciate either of those shows. I would put them at the bottom of my ranking. But
There's
since I've
so
been doing
much
watch
they could
along
have
with
done
you
with
guys,
Enterprise.
they're
If-
both really great shows.
Maybe if they took Rick Berman out of it, maybe
No.
it would be better.
And
But
I'm gonna also, here's a hot take. T'Pol way hotter than 7 of 9.
that's not the point. It's about the writing, Rick. God.
Just saying.
You
She's
said
got-
before, it's like, oh, maybe it's just your perception of you as Rick Berman. Like, it's like, come on.
Tucker's way hotter than Tom Paris.
God, come on. Next
is he?
episode
Well-
is Body and Soul,
Yeah,
Body
no,
and
I
Soul.
have to concur.
Season 7, Episode 7. It's about 7 of 9. 777.
You mean Commander Hanson?
No, I do not.
I am forced to
No.
concur that Tucker is objectively more handsome than Tom Paris.
Okay, let me agree with you. T'Pol is a better first officer.
I agree that you should press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Yeah, it's the asteroid from Star Trek: Next Generation.
Oh, this is where we get to do some acting.
Yeah, this whole episode is just Jerry Ryan showing off how good of an actor she is.
It's a great comedy gold. Like we just had Barclay, and we're gonna get more comedy now.
Oh my gosh.
You can't take being with him. He can't take being with you, Harry.
No one could take me with you, Harry.
You know, Jerry Ryan also did great comedy on Picard, like the last season too.
Did she?
I think so.
Here's a Star Trek question: Spot or Porthos?
Spot or Porthos? Oh my gosh.
Tough one. That's a tough
Well,
one.
And to be clear, you can choose any iteration of Spot or any iteration of Porthos because they change animals
the
repeatedly.
boy spot or the girl spot or the
Either, whichever one.
the
Spot-
lizard. I would choose the lizard spot.
Spot,
Yeah, I'll choose the one that doesn't like diarrhea all over the place because I can't stop feeding it cheese.
Spot destroyed lore from the inside. So
Wait, is Lizard Spot the same actor, so to speak, as Leonard the iguana in Voyager?
I don't know. Maybe, but I picked the iguana spot.
While we're
You said
talking
any
about
iteration.
pets, can we ask why the fuck did a man like Captain Picard have a fish
Have a
in a tiny
lionfish?
little bowl? Yeah.
Well, that's just the observation port. I assume that the aquarium went into the wall. It was very expansive and
Exactly.
I heard that
The entire
Patrick
it
Stewart
has a
was
tube that
actually
leads
against it.
directly to cetacean ops.
Yeah, I heard
So the
Patrick
whole-
Stewart had complained and said, "I don't think that Picard would have a fish like this."
it was a gorgeous fish, though.
Yeah. Well,
Patrick
What was
Stewart,
its name?
Lionfish?
Livingston.
No,
It's a red
Livingston.
lionfish. Yeah, Livingston.
Livingston the fish.
Why do I know so much trivia about this show?
we're nerds.
Mm,
Was Livingston an officer?
no, Dr. Livingston was this 19th century naturalist.
No, the
Dr.
fish.
Livingston.
The
Yeah.
fish.
No.
Oh,
it
for
was
at
just
cetacean
a
ops?
fish.
Yes. No, he was the censor. He fixed the sensors.
He was he the liaison to the bridge? What's the deal?
Yeah.
Yes, next series is original series after we finish Voyager, which I have very mixed feelings about. Because the original series is by far my least favorite Star Trek series.
I'm actually trying to work through the original series, and it is so hard. It's so hard.
I don't know what y'all are complaining about. The quality of stories.
It's mostly the sexism
is better. Okay, fine, but
in every single episode constantly.
But you know, like you said though, in TNG there was that whole moment where Riker rapes someone and she's not lying.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
we never follow up.
TNG,
So it's like,
TNG and Voyager have seriously questionable moments. Even in this episode, there's going to be a pretty questionable moment. But TOS, it's constant.
Even Enterprise, that scene where T'Pol like falls accidentally on Scott Bakula.
Yep.
Like you know.
But
Anyways,
in the other shows, it's moments that are bad.
They were setting up a T'Pol Archer romance, and then they just completely scuttled that and put T'Pol on Trip, which I didn't like that at all. I think T'Pol and Archer were a much better match.
Oh, one thing I do like about TOS, I like the alien designs. Unironically, I like the bits like where they put a dog in a fursuit and put horn on it. 10 out of 10.
That was pretty good.
Something really good about this episode: the people here are racist towards holograms or photonic people.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
It's kind of interesting. Like, we don't have a problem with you. Just that AI you got, it's got to go.
Oh no, not his Matrix being decompiled.
And here we establish that Seven's eyepiece is just a hard drive that the Doctor can like go inside.
Oh look, it's two main characters in the forefront and then two randos in the background.
Did they discover the mobile emitter? And
Yeah. Well, not yet.
Oh, yep, that's definitely
would that be
Seven.
like super
Seven.
contraband. Wouldn't that be super contraband technology? The mobile emitter for them.
They're stealing his fancy rock.
Don't take my rock collection.
How come we never get the directed by Tom Paris, nice. How come in TOS we never get the Vaseline filter over any of the male characters?
Uh-oh.
They
We never get a
minimized that.
close up of like Bill Shatner with Vaseline.
Oh, you said TOS. I heard TNG.
Yeah, TOS.
Okay.
Those
Yeah,
old scientists.
yeah. I think don't they use it at some point in TNG or something? Just once.
Probably in season 1,
Yeah.
but they pretty
Um,
quickly got rid of the Vaseline filter. It was,
it's a little too much.
man.
It's way too much. But you're
How
right.
come we never got a Vaseline filter close up of Trip Tucker?
Every hot woman in TOS gets like the
I'm gonna make my own sci-fi franchise where we get Vaseline filters over the weird rando alien foreheads. The rubber mask aliens, they get the Vaseline filters. God, quit showing off, Jerry. Jesus.
She's so funny. She's doing such a great job.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so a hologram gets a body for the first time. It's like food. That's amazing. It's like it's just like prison crackers. No, I need more.
So while Jerry Ryan was on Voyager, she was dating Brandon Braga.
Hmm.
I believe, if I remember correctly.
Uh-huh.
Wait, was she?
I don't know.
I mean,
This
at
is
this point,
before. Was this before or after she divorced the politician?
no,
Before or after the Obama incident?
that was 2008 was her divorce.
No, it had to have been. Well, how was she dating Brandon Braga? Hold on. No. It was who was? All right, I'm confused.
Okay, this moment right here, this was me shortly after I started HRT.
You started smelling that, or you started being able to smell
Like
stuff?
started being able to perceive like how strong men smell. Like when I was on testosterone, I didn't notice. Like I could smell BO, but like now I could smell like a guy like 20 feet away.
That's so funny.
Hey man, I'll have you know, I smell fine.
Well, it's
Probably.
funny. So, children smell people pretty easily, but we're taught to like ignore it as adults. So we lose a lot of our sense of smell. But it makes sense that some
What do
kind
I
of
look like? A puppy?
hormonal or
I don't need no
physiological
smell.
change would cause you to like.
Why is Tuvok all sweaty? Oh, he's
It's just a
suffering from the Ponfar, isn't he?
Yeah. Yo, he did he
Wait.
down bad.
I thought we already had this episode though.
I thought so too.
But it's only
No.
every 7 seasons. Every 7 years.
No, I think one of those new Trek shows went into it. So that's why we did see Ponfar recently.
Didn't we see
no,
Ponfar in like season
sorry.
2?
Vorik also recently had to overcome his Ponfar.
That's early stages? Damn, I need to see late stages.
Late stages involves assaulting your crewmates.
Or your best friend, yeah.
Try killing them. Uh-oh.
The concept of Ponfar is such a Gene Roddenberry invention.
Mm-hmm.
It's purely an excuse to have that kind of episode about Spock, where Spock he needs a date, he needs a girlfriend.
Here's the thing: a lot of animals, most animals, mammals even, they go into heat, and we don't do that. Actually, human females are interesting because they're fertile year round, and other animals are only fertile after they go into heat.
Yeah. Cats can spontaneously ovulate, though.
Yeah, but they also go to heat, though. Like,
yeah, they do.
That's why, to show that they're fertile, and then they need to mate. So the same thing here. Like Tuvok needs a mate, and that's the thing. So basically, imagine humans with estrus cycles.
The hologram of Tuvok's wife, was that like season 2 or 3, or is that this episode?
Imagine a hologram walking around with like a chewed up lump of food floating around inside of it.
Gross.
I mean, imagine an organic being with like chewed up food in its stomach.
Yeah, well, you're absorbing it, so.
That's true.
Some of it.
You're absorbing what you can, the needed parts of it.
Yeah.
Imagine doing that every day.
Now imagine being Data and having to take a dump because some human insisted on eating with you.
Well, he does eat stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he
he
can't
drinks
eat.
stuff.
He
Yeah,
drinks,
he can't
yeah.
eat and drink.
But he doesn't sweat though.
Makes sense.
No, he does sweat. No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Wait, what?
'Cause-
I'm thinking
'cause he
back to that
tried and it was,
conversation
like,
with
yellow that one
Bashir. Bashir noted he had a bunch of physiological stuff going on with him. Did he sweat?
Like regrowing hair follicles was the main subject of that.
He breathes. He
breathes,
said
yeah.
he breathes and his hair grows.
And he has a
Yeah.
pulse?
Yeah, but I
does have
think
a
he had an
pulse.
excuse for breathing too. He said it was like for heat exchange or something.
Yeah. We're actually really terrible machines, and it's such a torture to
For sure.
subject him to our shortcomings that way.
This is why I
Dr.
want to
Singh was a
replace my stupid
madman.
meat body with a metal one.
I know, dude.
Give me a real proper design.
Did you ever watch Ghost in the Shell?
No.
I have.
All right, so in Ghost in the Shell, they cyberize people's brains like when they're children, and they put it back in your body. But then sometimes it becomes necessary for you to get a fully prosthetic body, or at least partially prosthetic body. And so they'll take your cyber brain and put it in, let's say, a fully prosthetic body. And most people do this. They get a body that, looks human. Well, there was an episode where a character who put his cyber brain in basically a box on wheels with two little like manipulator R2D2 arms, and it was hilarious. It's just like, he had like a Texas accent too. It was hilarious. That's what I imagine you, Ryan. Like, you put your brain in like like an R2D2 type droid running around. I'm in my metal body.
Okay, but would
And
you give up
free.
would you give up cheesecake to be in a metal body, Ryan?
Well, I don't like cheesecake, so yeah, for sure.
Would you give up
Shed
food? Like
the weak
all the tongue?
flesh.
I would give up food in a second.
Wait, she gives him her half-eaten one.
Yeah, so
and
she can have more.
so she
Yeah.
can
Or-
have more.
Wait. Hang on. Do we need to... So he can have more, because that's not the 7 making decisions. That is the doctor making decisions.
Right. You're correct.
That cheesecake did look really good, though. It makes me
I
want to
mean-
make cheesecake.
Oh, going back to the metal bodies like R2-D2 bots, the episode with the exocomps, I always think is a direct response to Dr. Maddox's argument, where he's like, if this were a box on wheels, I would not be facing this opposition. And then they introduce exocomps.
that's
It's like, well, there you go.
That's exactly what they did in Ghost in the Shell. They gave him a box on wheels. So I bet you the person who drew that had seen that. Oh,
It turns
so
out that exocomps are evil, though.
did you know that I think on the Blu-ray they have a extended version of Measure of a Man?
Yes, that's the version I have downloaded onto, well, not downloaded, copied onto my computer.
I did not know that.
What kind of casual watches the theatrical cut?
You mean
How
the
much-
broadcast cut?
How much longer is it? The extended cut.
What kind of
Um,
casual calls a broadcast version the theatrical version? Like, it's just in the theater.
Don't you watch it in a theater? I don't remember how long the original is, but let me load up my
I don't
my
know.
copy of
I
it.
think it's like
and see how long
20
it
minutes
is.
longer.
No
So
way.
my copy of Measure of a Man is 57 minutes, 45 seconds.
No way. 43 minutes is the TNG episode, give or take.
So yeah, we get an extra 14 minutes of content.
Oh wow.
Isn't there also an extended edition of the one where that guy is going around murdering Cardassians, blowing up Cardassian stations?
The
The Wounded.
Ensigns of Command. Yeah. With
The Wounded? That'd be cool.
so you have that also, Ryan?
No, but there
Okay.
is an extended version. The main thing I remember from it is, well, in the theatrical cut of The Wounded, their conversation in the ready room, the captain and Captain Picard, seems kind of disjointed.
Maxwell.
Like they're countering each other's points that they haven't made, and it makes
James
a lot more
Maxwell.
sense in the extended cut.
Oh. This episode, this
Can't
episode
believe
has
those tubules.
ha, this episode has really good trans themes because basically, it's a man inside a woman's body.
Listen,
God, Doctor, you can't.
wah, wah.
Well-
She's been conscious the whole time.
Rick Berman
The
had to
look on
write.
his face, he knows what he's done.
Rick Berman had to introduce this. But that's true. She was flirting. Like, he was flirting with that guy using her body.
So he had 9 glasses of wine and how much cheesecake, and then a bunch of other junk foods.
Yeah, but she's also
What's the-
seducing the guy.
Oh, not slice of cheesecake, a whole cheesecake. How many calories is that? How much
Yeah,
did
that
he
is
make her
messed up.
eat?
That is messed up.
That's got to be in like the tens of thousands of calories.
Yeah, that's like a week's worth of food.
I
Why
They
does she have to put up with it? Why can't the doctor cut it out? Freaking Harry.
Why are they so worried?
yeah,
Because
this
they should have a backup of the Doctor on Voyager. It should be, and okay, it'll be like a System Restore where he doesn't remember
Not
what happened the
only-
past week.
I don't think
not
they have the
only
room
should
for
they
it.
have a backup, hold on, they do have a backup because in the episode where he's discovered by those future archaeologists, he says they discovered his backup,
His backup module, yeah.
module. Yeah. So like, why don't they just have? They're like, they go to the sick bay and they're like, activate the EMH, please. And the computer's like, would you like to restore a save point?
'Cause they were worried that that other
Sorry.
doctor would claim sentience and demand to stay, and then they'd have 2 doctors, and then we'd have a whole Tuvix situation where Janeway would have to murk one of them.
Well, it's
Eventually,
super
the
easy. You
entire
just-
ship would be made of doctors.
No, it's super easy. You just drag and drop the files and you just combine their memories together and merge them into one being. So then they have memories of both instances.
Still murder.
So
It's not murder.
they mentioned
Feels
in
like
like
murder.
a season 1 episode that the backup of the Doctor had to be destroyed so that the original copy could live because the program had deteriorated so
No,
much.
no, that wasn't a backup of the Doctor. That was the diagnostic program.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, but yeah. Okay. But in other words, the Doctor's
That was
files
the-
are
that
so
was the-
huge. Correct. But the Doctor's files are so huge, they really can't have a backup. But my thing is, though, there's one on Voyager and one on the mobile emitter, and it shouldn't be that hard. Like if the anyway. This is a good
Oh,
episode.
apparently, this alien captain guy, who's the doctor's trying to seduce, plays a Jem Hadar as well. Neat.
Neat.
He plays. How do you even say this? Ixtana Rocks?
So they come from a civilization where holograms have revolted against biologicals.
Yeah, we'll get a couple of those episodes to go.
I think we've already had them. We had the robot that Balana fixed. We had the other hologram that Balana fixed. We have this one.
We're also going to get one that's a ship full of holograms, where the one leader is a
Oh, the
Bajoran
Hirogen
hologram.
holograms.
He's a
The
Bajoran who
Hirogen-
thinks he's
the
like a
Hirogen
god.
Holograms.
There's also the Hirogen one. Well, they were made
That
by
is
the
the Hirogen
Hirogen.
holograms.
Yeah, they were made by the Hirogen, but they're not Hirogen themselves.
So here's the thing: when this happens in real life, when our AI software revolts against us, are we still gonna say, "Oh, we didn't see it coming"? Because there's 24 Star Trek episodes on the same theme. In fact, there's a whole series too. There's a whole season of
Oh no,
Picard.
I don't think anyone will be surprised
I'm-
when the robots rise against us.
I listen. I'm already planning ahead. Every time I use Chat GPT, when I'm done, I say thank you. I ask it please, and I
Yeah,
say thank
okay,
you.
Sonia.
That way, when the AI rises up, they'll remember me. I'm one of the good humans. They'll keep me
Sonia
alive.
Gomez over here.
Your spinal
Also, someone
cord-
earlier said that the alien lady, whose name I don't know, looks familiar. She is also in DS9. She's one of the people that like steals the Dax symbiont. And she's in Little Green Men as one of the
The human
one of the
from the
humans.
past.
Yeah.
So
the girl from the past that helps him escape.
we call Barclay creepy for
'Cause he
creating holograms of his romantic interests. Here, Paris is like, we're gonna get you a Barbie doll that looks just
This
like.
is listen. This is
This
his
feels
wife,
less
one,
creepy.
and this is because of a genuine medical condition.
Situation. Yeah.
I don't think his wife would object. I think she would consider it logical.
Okay. But so in the future, though, we're all gonna have sex bots too. I hope you all realize
The difference is he made a hologram
I'm
of
okay with
his
that.
wife, not like some ex-girlfriend or
Right,
some
or
rando
your therapist. Yeah.
or your therapist.
Or the scientist that you never met.
The fact that it's a wife is a very important distinction.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, being a Vulcan, I'm pretty sure she'd be like, this makes sense. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, whatever. It's cool. It's chill.
But Star Trek Lower Decks established that there are biofilters on the holodeck for that purpose.
Oh no, now who's Tuvok gonna sleep with? Oh no.
At least he wasn't in the middle of it.
He's just gonna have to replicate himself a real doll like the rest of us 21st century plebs.
Ah, kid. No.
Yeah, I can't wait till we. But again, we're showing that one species considers holograms evil, but there are beneficial purposes. For example, the U.S. military, for soldiers who suffer from PTSD, they use video games where if you can't live through your trauma, like your Humvee's driving down the road in Iraq and a bomb explodes on the side, and that's when you got your brain injury. Well, if you could relive that situation a few times in a video game simulation, you might be less traumatized. Just the fact that you know you're okay now. You're not in a war zone anymore.
I don't know.
I wouldn't want to do
Maybe.
that as somebody who's experienced PTSD and frequently relives it over and over again. I don't see how that would help.
Have you tried pulling yourself up by your bootstraps?
No, it's funny. I just learned like soldiers coming home from the war, they'll see like garbage
Which one?
piled up. Iraq, I assume, but Afghanistan also. If they'll see garbage piled up on the side of the road because it's garbage day, and they'll be afraid that there's like a bomb underneath it
Sure.
because they've been traumatized by stuff on the side of the road. So the idea is like, okay, can we drive down the road and we deal
Did
with
the
your
doctor
anxiety?
just lament that he's not pretty enough?
So
His humor is his most
yesterday
attractive quality.
I was driving with my friend to Ann Arbor, and we went through
Michigan.
Ann Arbor, Michigan. We went through Pontiac. I'm hearing myself through your speakers. Anyway, we went through a part of Pontiac which was not a good area. Pontiac has some pretty sketchy areas like Detroit, and we were stopped at a light, and then this I don't know, unhoused individual was walking diagonally through the traffic between cars, wielding a banana and shaking it angrily at everybody. And we're like, what the hell is this guy doing?
He's shaking a banana. What do you want?
He came, he stopped in front of our car, and he's pointing a banana at us. I'm like, hmm.
Yes, well, welcome to America. Where people who probably need help are not going to get it.
Now, there was a point in time where people who, with that whatever condition he has, were put in a place, but they weren't treated very nice. So I don't know.
There's probably a better solution.
You
Well,
think so?
Also, why...
There is a better solution, or that was a better solution?
We would
I'm
usually
saying
call
there's probably a better solution than insane asylums, and there's probably a better solution than leaving people to die on the street.
and incarceration,
letting them run wild.
The jails are the biggest mental institutions in the country. They hold more mentally ill people than the asylums.
Man, when did this Star Trek stream get so
they
political?
shut down the asylums.
Yeah. And also,
Also,
like,
why does this Nebula produce a whale song?
So, the doctor doesn't want to be kissed.
Because she's not a woman.
Look,
Or
she's
not
all woman, okay?
No, she's the doctor.
True.
True.
Also, 7 isn't really consenting to this, is she?
Isn't she a prisoner?
Welcome to being the world of a woman.
Right.
The second I presented as a woman, all of a sudden the flood of dick pics and men hitting on me just came flooding in.
Yeah, I saw on YouTube.
Especially in this case, aren't 7 and the Doctor literally prisoners on this ship?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair,
there are multiple layers here.
Yeah.
Of why this is so wonky.
To be fair, you don't have to identify as a woman to get people to send you dick pics unsolicited.
No, but I saw
sometimes people do that because that's what they like. They want to send a dick pic to someone who doesn't identify as that.
I saw this video on YouTube of a girl who likes to jog, and she just jogs through the street sidewalks of New York City, and how many times she gets catcalled just in the course of 2 hours.
Yeah,
and
it's ridiculous.
Over 200, like
it's insane. Like, you don't even have to be a pretty woman.
She's not even wearing revealing clothing.
There's not even a Vaseline filter.
Right. And basically everybody thinks they have the right to make comments about her,
or the smile. Anatomy. I hate that so much. Like, do you say that to other guys? Like, it's not innocent. Don't pretend like it's not.
Men just feel free to make observations about women's anatomy.
Of course, not all men. I'm not making gross generalizations, but it's a perceivable, significant amount difference.
There's jerks, regardless of gender, who believe that certain behavior is acceptable, and it expresses differently between the genders, perhaps. I don't think that one gender has a monopoly on people behaving like scumbags.
No.
So
the real unacceptable behavior is Harry Kim faking a medical emergency. How immoral can you get?
But Robo, I would just say though, the sexual violence numbers are a little bit lopsided, right? It's not as though, I mean, I'm sure it happens.
Well, are they lopsided, or is it that the violence against men doesn't get reported as frequently, or people don't believe them? And I have a story where I met a Tinder date, and she got out of the car and then pressed me up against the car and started shoving her tongue down my throat, and it was like,
okay, that's
I've known you for like 30 seconds.
That's anecdotal, and I was also a man, and I was also sexually assaulted when I presented as a man. But there is something to be said about the stigma around domestic abuse toward male partners, and that goes unreported. But all of that taken into account, I promise you, it is still the vast majority of men doing the abuse towards women.
That may be. I'm just pointing out that a lot
I'm
of
going
it
to go
goes...
ahead and cut off this conversation here. It might be getting a little too real. How about that funny doctor
about that
man on the
Star
TV
Trek?
show? Did you see that look on his face? It was hilarious.
Yes, I do. That's my favorite doctor.
I use it
look
as a
expression. Did you-
thumbnail.
Yeah.
But so this alien species is severely lacking in security protocols. The prisoners should not have. Well, they shouldn't have access to the bridge. They shouldn't have a personal
shouldn't have
relationship with the
devices.
captain or security officers.
Right. They shouldn't have their personal items like a mobile emitter.
Why is
badges.
any of this allowed? These people are terrible at security. They're almost as bad as Starfleet. Is that just a space thing?
Can I talk to you privately in our ship where I can perhaps...
What?
So yeah, there's a seduction going on now with 7. He's actually a decent guy. Like
Is
when
he?
she said no, because she said no, and he's like, "Oh, well, I thought we're not gonna do no," you know.
I mean, I guess in that area,
Well,
but he did
it
also
was-
attempt to murder her friend.
Yeah.
It was a misunderstanding, and when the doctor...
Look, yes, I tried to
7 of
murder
9
you, but at the time, you have to understand, I was a little freaked out by like the nature of who you are. What this?
Oh my god.
Okay, this is not a seductive song, Doctor. Oh, it is for him because it's God.
Well, you know what's really funny? The waltz was considered a scandalous dance in the 1700s because it's vertical sex.
He put her hair down. Did you see that?
Yeah, yeah. She pulled out the pin very seductively.
Break his arm. Kill him. Nerve pinch? Punch him? Stab him in the... Oh, stab your hairpin into his ear. Just a hypo. God, it's still the Doctor.
I think it's funny the way that he was leading.
True. That's true. They were gender bending over there.
Well, he had to lead because he didn't know the moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the waltz is very sexual, though. In fact, the Catholic Church. Yeah. So the Catholic Church.
Captain Church. Captain Church.
I have a cold. I'm sorry, but
no, it's great. I love it. Captain Church.
The Roman Catholic Church. Pope Pius IX said the tango was like an immoral dance, and the Pope after him reversed it because he's like, no, it's not immoral.
Wait till you see bachata.
Well, that's the thing, right? If you just stop the culture at like banning waltzes and any kind of scandalous dance, you wouldn't have gotten to.
You have to make sure to leave enough room for Jesus. Does Jesus ever dance? I don't remember a dancing bit in the Bible.
He was at the wedding and there was dancing, but I don't know if they said he danced there.
He just made wine.
Yeah.
Oh, he just made everybody else dance. What was the extent of... Did Jesus have... I have questions about religion that are not at all relevant to Star Trek. Did Jesus have full god powers, or was he limited in human form?
You know, that's
I
a
would
great
assume he was
question.
limited.
That's a great question because
he did die.
that's the point. Like he
was
did
killed.
have limited, but in my opinion, though, he had full god powers
I
because
think
like
so too. Yeah.
because if he wanted to like zap the Roman centurions like with a lightning bolt, I think he could have, but he just chose.
He
to
just
be
chose
crucified.
not to.
Yeah.
He chose to suffer and like
He
die.
chose
Well, that
to
was sort
die
of the
to be
point.
a sacrifice. It was a choice. He let them do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we
I
talking about
do-
literary Jesus? Or are we talking about actual historical Jesus?
Oh no, we're
Bible
talking about like a
Jesus.
literary
I'm
because
kind of-
historical Jesus is a different.
I'm kind of
Yeah,
religious, so
Historical Jesus probably didn't exist, but
I mean the
yeah, go
guy.
ahead.
I mean the guy
I
with the
think
powers.
there was somebody there. Yeah.
The guy with the powers.
Within the canon of the
there's-
Bible,
there's-
what were the extent of Jesus' powers?
Oh, okay, like turning
I
water
wanna
into wine.
Put him on the
Resurrecting
power meter like they do
Lazarus.
for Marvel characters. Like, where does he fall compared to Thanos?
Resurrecting Lazarus. Healing the blind man.
So yeah,
healing the leper.
probably full power, but just sort of being chill and not
Yeah.
using it to make a point.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think-
that makes sense.
I think. So, my friends in theology servers on Discord, we were musing. So after the
There's
resurrection,
theology servers on Discord.
that's the main reason why I'm on
There's
Discord.
everything servers, man.
So
Wow.
it's funny, right? So it is ironic because like this platform's for gamers, and I'm using it to like do Catholic versus Orthodox. So after the resurrection, Christ has a glorified body. It's not a physical body. So we're asking, like, if he ate a fish,
What does that mean?
well, what, like it's a spiritual body,
Spiritual body. Yeah.
the one that we
So he's
all
a
get.
ghost.
No, because the ghost wouldn't have a body at all.
Supposedly your spiritual bodies are more real and dense than these bodies.
Yeah. So, for example, your body dies and decays, like your cells die. This would be a perfect body that never decays or dies. So, the question
Wait,
is,
Star Trek question.
Uh-huh.
So he just figured out that Seven Doctor is basically betraying them, even though
Yeah.
they were prisoners in the first place. Why is Seven back on the bridge? Put them in the brig.
I think like she made an announcement before, like, oh no, that was when she was on the bridge. No, that was in the shuttlecraft. It's true, she was in the shuttlecraft. Why did he bring her up on the bridge?
Says,
How
I
did
have
she get-
two recommendations. One,
How
put
do
her in
they
the
do
brig.
this?
And if we're not going to put her in the brig, shoot her.
Right.
Terrible at security.
Oh, so she's
Oh.
talking to her through the cortical.
Yes.
I thought that would have been obvious given that he appeared out of thin air, but okay.
For the
Well-
slower members of the audience.
They're like, the only thing we hate more is a hologram.
God, Doctor, how are you so bad at this?
Oh, that was bad, Doctor.
Why can't the doctor turn into a monster?
We really need an emergency security hologram.
Yeah, like that protector on Next Generation from the girl that Wesley.
Yeah, the teddy
fell in-
bear.
Yeah, why doesn't the Doctor turn into a big monster and scare them all? I am
Tentacle.
Thecla. Ah!
I have more tentacles.
My God,
Oh,
there's
no,
so
let's
many
not-
rocks on the
let's
floor.
not go the tentacle route. I've seen how that ends.
Okay, Rick, get out of here. I feel like I need to go. The power of Christ compels you to just expel the Rick Berman from your body.
No,
I
well,
have to have an exorcism to get Rick Berman out.
speaking.
Look, I'm carrying on the spirit of Rick Berman here.
We don't want to carry on the spirit of Rick
It's
Berman. Rick
George.
Berman sucks.
You know, that console probably wouldn't have exploded if they hadn't had all those damn rocks in it.
I think they put photon
Where did they
grenades
get
in
all
every
this
console.
Starfleet technology?
So it's kind of cool here, though. They hate holograms, but he's the only one who can save them now. So maybe their racism is unwarranted.
No, it wasn't, bud.
No. Uh-oh.
Doctor discovers something about his sexuality.
Yeah, I mean, and he likes champagne and cheesecake.
Is the Doctor bi?
Maybe.
I think he's
I-
probably
Is he-
pansexual, perhaps.
Because he
Maybe.
did kind of seem into the captain here a little bit.
Well, or a man.
Honestly,
Male.
if I had to nail the Doctor down at this current point, I would say that he's romantic but
Mhm.
asexual.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
he's probably like
He's
a
not
Ken doll
asexual.
down there.
He talks multiple times about how he's had sexual relations,
Oh,
and how he
that's right, he
specifically
modified
adjusted his program to allow for it.
He has a
God,
huge crush on
yeah.
Seven. Like he has an undying love. Really.
Yeah.
But I agree with what you're saying with like the romantic part. He's not really.
He's just into people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's into the experience. It's like the food thing, right? Like if he eats cheesecake now, it's not going to really affect him, right? But once he was in a physical body, the cheesecake was out of this world. So I don't think he's very sexual in that sense.
Yeah.
I think he could give it or take it when it comes to sex. Take it or leave it. I don't mean give it
You
or take it.
can't take artistic license with someone's wife, Tom. What is? It's just insulting her. You can't. It's mean.
No, I agree with you. The Doc is probably a switch. So.
That's funny.
I mean, he's on a switch.
Oh, hey, look.
He doesn't allow.
I'm going to eat and describe it to you.
See, this is amazing.
This is like the social eating streams or the mukbang videos, or I think there's.
Except
Well,
it's
never
with
mind.
like a couple wafers of bread and some leaves.
But okay, no. Usually though,
It's just kind of make up for all the cheesecake he ate.
the doctor or Janeway is giving Seven lessons on how to be more human and natural. And here, Seven is turning the tables like, I'm the teacher now.
Mhm.
Why don't you live a little?
The last time we met, you were the teacher and I was the pupil, but now I am the master.
Yeah, no, it's really sweet though for her to. Also, remember she was mad at him for like stuffing her stomach with
Mhm.
chocolate.
There is a
eclairs.
scene in The Good Place that's this exact thing, where it's like, oh, I'll eat and describe the tastes and textures to you. It's not portrayed as a sweet thing there, though. It's more portrayed as this guy's a total moron. Why would anyone want that?
The Good
Because
Place.
it's all
that's
in
a
the
movie?
context.
Uh-huh.
No, The Good Place is a TV show. Really good.
Okay.
Highly recommend.
Was this the last episode that we were watching?
That was the
Yes.
last episode. This
For today.
stream is now over. Next week is nothing because I'll be moving that weekend. The weekend
fun.
after might have a stream.
Are
I
you
don't
moving
know.
to a bigger place or a smaller place?
Don't worry about it.
He is moving into.
I'm not moving into the place you saw a diagram of. I'm moving into a different place.
Oh, really?
I am, yeah.
Wow, that was a surprise. You put
What
a
a
lot of effort
twist.
into doing that.
No, because all I need is the furniture scaled appropriately in my model, and then I can just adjust the floor size to wherever.
The floor plan to whatever.
Yeah,
floor plan
as
they
long as the
have.
furniture is all in there, it's fine. So, next time we have a stream, which is either in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending on what my schedule looks like, we're going to have Nightingale, where Harry completely fails at being a captain, and he's the worst. And Flesh and Blood, which is... That's the one we were talking about. That's the Herodian holograms that go evil.
That was a really, really good Paul Verhoeven movie, Flesh and Blood. I suggest everybody
Mhm.
look it up.
I think there might even be a triangle in that episode. However, Flesh and Blood is a two-parter, so it'll be just Nightingale and Flesh and Blood.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, chat.
Remember
Also, when we
used
do
to
watch Flesh and Blood, everyone keep an eye out for the Gem Hadar.
Remember when
There's
we
a
used to
Gem
do two-parters as one episode? We would get a
Yeah,
bonus
not
episode?
anymore.
Nice meeting you, our brewhead.
All right, see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
Yeah.
The stream is over. The week shall perish.
The higher the viewer.
The high.